It's been around 4 months since I last worked on the S14, and I finally had a window where I was able to bring it home, and it's in the garage right now, so let's get to work. If you guys remember the last dyno day, the turbo was on its way out and it wasn't able to make the max power that it was supposed to make, so that is what we're going to be replacing. I got a new T28. This is an S15 T28, and I've been out of the SR game for a while, so I forget if the S15 T28s and the S14 ones are the same. I was very on the fence about getting a TD06 for this car so I can have another TD06 setup, but Jason kind of talked me out of maybe doing that because, you know, he's right. That means I got to get a top mount manifold, and it's a lot more money for the fabrication to do the downpipe, connect to the exhaust and all that stuff. So I'm like, screw it. I want this to be a simple SR car, so that's why I opted out for a T28 replacement. So I've had really good luck with every single one of the manifold studs, but of course the last one, this one right here, I cannot get a wrench or socket in it. The way this manifold is designed is really dumb. Instead of just making it go this way where it clears this stud, no, they decided to get lazy and just take a shortcut and make it curve over here. Like the box end off the wrench can't even get in. The manifold is loose. I just have one nut on here just to make sure that it doesn't fall off when I go underneath the car to get the exhaust off. I forget if you have to drain the oil and the coolant when you take off the oil and drain lines on the turbo, but either way, I need to take the oil out of this thing because I haven't done an oil change ever since I got the car, or actually I don't even know when the last time the oil has been changed on it, so that has to be drained either way. But for the coolant, I kind of want to drain it if I don't have to, so I'll do some research once it's up in the air to make sure that if I have to, I mean, if it drips a little bit, I don't mind. I'll have a pan underneath, but I got to get the car up so I can get underneath to the downpipe, take the downpipe off and take those two lines out, and then the whole turbo manifold should be ready to come out. The oil is drained, and I'm taking off the lines that are off of the engine versus off of the turbo because there's really no room to kind of get the lines off from the turbo, especially this one. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna get that one, so I'm gonna take off every line off of the engine and then just take off everything with the lines just dangling. Okay, so I figured if you're gonna have to take off the turbo for whatever reason, you got to drain both oil and coolant. This whole process has reminded me exactly why I hate SRs. Okay, so we should be good to take off the turbo and the manifold. Now I just gotta finagle it out of the engine bay. So I thought I would be able to take everything out, including the elbow, but the elbow is hitting the steering column, so I gotta take that out. A couple rusty bolts and nuts later, and we finally got the elbow out. This is the crusty ass turbo that we're working with. Look at every single bolt. I think these are supposed to be like copper washers, and they're not. They're steel. This one I think is a copper, but it's not even bolted on. None of the hardware on this turbo and manifold is matching because look at this stud. It's really long, and in the back that's a bolt when it should be a stud. I wanted to wait until I had everything off. That way I can see exactly what I needed to order in terms of like the hardware, the gaskets, fittings if they're stripped and leaking, and the lines. The lines I think I'm gonna reuse. They seem fine. The oil one, I'm not sure. Maybe that one is probably the only one I'm gonna buy new. But the coolant, both coolant hoses, the feed and drain are okay. The oil drain pipe or the little tube, that one's fine. I'm just gonna buy the new rubber hose because that one, when I was taking it off, it was really hard and brittle, and it was almost bent also. So kinked. And it was kinked, so I need a new one of those. But I also thought I was gonna be able to get away with maybe using the old manifold to the head gasket, but this one's really shot, so I think I'm gonna get that one new too. This elbow, I don't know what brand this elbow is, but it's garbage. It's really bad. Right here where this, like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this black spot right here, it's actually caved in. So I don't, yeah, I can see the flange. The flange isn't even straight. So this was probably leaking at some point. Maybe it was minimal, but a leak is a leak. But we do have other stuff that we got to work on inside of the engine bay while we wait on those parts. And the easiest thing on the list is the alternator. This alternator does not want to do its job. It's not charging the battery, so every time I turn the car on, I gotta disconnect the battery and hope that it is charged. If not, I gotta jump it or I gotta swap it out for another battery. So I ordered a new one, or a refurbished one from Anjuku, and I got a P2M one. I also forgot that I bought filters for this thing. So I got 3 of those, and then what is this? Oh, a fuel filter, perfect. I know these aren't technically new, they're remanufactured, but look, it came with a pulley. I'm not sure if you buy any other ones if they come with a pulley, but also it was set to be for an SR20, so this plug I'm hoping is the same. I forget if on SRs, if like 13, 14, 15s SRs are different, or if this was like a KA one and the plug is different. I'm hoping I don't have to change any plugs. Nice, so they're the same style plug. The only difference between these two alternators is the stud for the battery or the power on this one is bigger than this one, but other than that, they're the exact same. I take it back, there is one modification that we got to do. I think this is a KA alternator because if I remember correctly, the KAs, the hole right here is threaded, and on the SRs it's just open. You could put this bolt through here. Then item number 2 is my oil pan is leaking. I'm gonna take a guess, and it's because of the RTV that is supposed to seal the oil pan. I'm gonna take that out, clean it out, and hopefully that's what it is. I don't think that it was the actual oil pan, like it's cracked, because I didn't see any like breaks or cracks. But I won't know until I take it out. I don't want to bore you guys with an alternator swap because I feel like most of us already know how to do one. But I found something else that needs to be addressed. I saw a crack right here and thought, well, maybe it's just that one. And no, there is a little crack there, a major crack here. This one's fine. Actually, no, there's a crack right there if we can focus. This whole fan is cracked, so yeah, this thing's kind of trashed. And I don't think I trust it to be on here when it's time to drift. I got this problem a while ago, so I already had a new OEM one ready to put in. Let's get back to the turbo real quick. The drain now has a new tube and a new gasket right here, and I ended up buying a gasket kit because it's cheaper when you buy all of them at the same time versus individually. I put new studs on the front and in the back on the exhaust side, and this one I put a short one because when I go to put this new Tomei elbow, the long one, it ends up like right here, and I don't have a lot of room to put a nut on. And this is what I'm talking about. I also ended up reusing the old lines because I did not realize how expensive these lines are. If you guys want more info on the T28 and how to disassemble it and assemble it back together, Dylan from Aimless has a really good video when he installed his new D-Max manifold. He has a couple tips and tricks and some troubleshooting he had to do in that video, so if you need more info, go check that video out. This is also the manifold that we're going to be using. This is a bottom mount SINCO manifold. I'm going to try my best not to get it dirty because I sprayed it with this flame proof up to 2000 degrees black paint. It probably won't look as nice as every other tubular manifold, but I kind of don't care. I don't want it to like stand out for whatever reason. I don't know. I always think of what happens if I get my hood popped by the police. So if it's black, at least it kind of is hidden. It's not shiny. Cops usually tend to think shiny, that must be illegal. I'm taking off the oil pan right now, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little bit worried because I'm scared of what I'm gonna see in the oil. There's no metal flakes, there's no metallic flakes, so we have a good SR. The pickup tube is fine, it's not bent, there's no metal shavings in there also, and I think that the leak did come from the RTV because it looks like a hack job. It looks really badly applied, so I gotta clean all this up on the bottom right here, and then clean off everything off of the oil pan. All right, it's finally time to put on the turbo and manifold combo. I put a new OEM gasket right here between the turbo and the manifold, and on the head it has a new manifold gasket. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, my dudes, this thing was a pain in the ass to put back in. It's not that much bigger than the old one, but just getting this mounted up and getting the oil drain, if I can focus, the oil drain down there, that tube was super hard to get aligned at the same time, getting all the studs aligned with the flange on the manifold. And I also changed the pickup tube gasket since the pan was already out, and I double checked and made sure that the pickup tube itself, it wasn't bent, it wasn't caved in, and there was no debris in there. And thank goodness that there was no gunk, there was no flakes, glitter, all the stuff you don't want to see in your oil. My dumbass forgot to put a new oil filter while the oil was drained, so I gotta do that real quick. All right, gang, I actually went ahead and just jumped forward and put everything back together. The only thing I have to do is put this heat resistant sleeve right here and right here, because the runners on the manifold are pretty close. But let's go through the list of what has been done. New T28 SINCO manifold. It's got a new fan, new alternator, and the oil pan has been resealed with the new pickup tube gasket. Oh yeah, and the Tomei elbow, and I still have to reconnect the downpipe. I turned the car on already to check for leaks, and ooh, thank goodness, we got 0 leaks. I did not want to have to take everything off again. After putting all this together, I decided I'm never doing a bottom out manifold setup again. It's such a pain in the ass to work on. Like, you physically cannot get any tools in there to loosen or tighten up any nuts and bolts. So you better make sure that if you tighten something, it better be tight. There's still a handful of things I need to do before I can take this to the track and take it to its first test day. I still gotta make an exhaust, I still gotta mount some of the interior pieces, and I gotta go over the suspension and make sure that it's tightened down, because a lot of it does sound loose. I drove the car forward and backwards, and there's a lot of clunking, and I gotta get the car aligned. Oh yeah, and we gotta get the car retuned because it has a new T28 and a manifold. But I gotta put a pause on this car because I have a big event coming up with the S13. I have the privilege of driving recollection auto fashion again, and all hands on deck for the S13 because it needs a handful of work before I make it presentable. And I gotta spend every single free minute of my time right now getting the S13 ready. Right now it's raining, so I'm like, I have time to work on this thing, I guess, because I can't work on the S13. If you guys don't know, Recollection Auto Fashion is an event that happens in Northern California at Thunder Hill. This year it's going to be March 7th, and it's pretty much just a showcase of good looking, clean drift cars and good driving. I look forward to it every year. I'm a big fan of styled events. I like seeing good looking drift cars. But it's actually, from the time of this recording, a little under 3 weeks from now. So I have to hurry up with the S13 because I don't want to leave things to the last minute. And a quick update on the shirts. We found a company that we can work with. They're pretty local, but they kind of made a mistake, and we're emailing back and forth with them right now, and we're gonna have to send them back because there was a lot of mistakes on them, but know that they are coming. But for now, that's it on this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you updated on any work that's done to the S13, Skyline, or this car, and we'll see you guys in the next one.